lot younger, if anybody approached me and said, "What do you want?" I wouldn't ask for money, supernaturally, I mean. I would ask for the power to be able to go into the minds of people and wonder what they're thinking when they do stuff. It's always a little private game that I play. There's what's going through the mind of this person when he does that. When I'm being taken to school and I'm looking at a driver who pushes in front of our car when he shouldn't have, and I'm thinking, what went through his mind? What made him decide that the front of our car in front of us is the best place for him when he shouldn't really be there? Watching football, I'm always thinking, at what point does this player decide that the best thing that he needed to do was meet this cross on a volley? Instead of allowing the pass to come down, he takes a touch and decides what to do. At what point does a player decide that this player, I can actually dribble and get past him, whereas that other one, I wouldn't dare? I always thought about what goes through people's minds when they make decisions. As a youngster, I'll tell you a funny story. When I was much younger, when mom calls me and says, "Tunde," and decides to have a go at me, I'm wondering, why does she have a go at me? Does she suddenly just sit down and think, okay, it's time, let me call Tunde and have a go at him? Because of course, at that time I was not prepared to admit that I did anything wrong. Poor woman. Made her feel guilty. And those thoughts followed me even as I grew older, even up until now. I always wonder, why do people think these things? What makes them think to do that thing? What makes the president of a country decide that the next best thing for him to do is to send funny tweets to the whole world rather than sit down and manage the country that he's been elected to manage? Sometimes I wonder what directors of businesses think when they make decisions to do what they're doing. Obviously, they will have valid reasons for doing what they do, but it doesn't stop me wondering. Doesn't stop me wondering, for example, what makes a suicide bomber go to the middle of a park and decide to blow himself and a few people up. Unfortunately, in that one, we can't even ask him because he's made the decision to strap himself up and blast himself to the great beyond. That's what he chose. But I do wonder what made him think that. At what point did he make that decision, that click in his brain? Today, I'm wondering what goes through the mind of the rapist that makes them do what they do. Why? How can it come to the mind of someone to actually go and derive and seek pleasure and satisfaction for himself at the expense of an unwilling partner? What could the girl, the woman, the lady have done to warrant and deserve a thought that will actually be preconceived that, you know what, I'm actually going to go and derive my pleasure and satisfaction sexually from this unwilling partner, because the only way I can get my pleasure is by seeing that person fight, thrash around and cry. Why? Who does that? And that I wonder. And that is why I'm hoping that there's no audience of mine that is a rapist. But I believe that a lot of people are watching me now who will be in a position to actually help and exert pressure on rapists so that this trend stops. We don't talk about it enough. There's a lot of charities everywhere in the world against rape, but I don't think we do enough of it. And I think we leave it too much to the ladies to do. We think it's their problem, so the women can deal with it. But we can also deal with it. We can help. We can help in any way that we can to actually stem this tide. It is going on. It is rampant. It is too much, and it needs to stop. We need to stop rape in our society because it's not fair. It's not fair on the women, for God's sake. Nobody wants their mother, their sister, their aunt, or their daughter to be a victim of rape. So we've got to stop it. And I wish and I hope that we can help in exerting pressure on the authorities to impose maximum penalty on these animals who perpetrate this evil crime. Because that's what the world needs at the moment. We've got enough problems. We don't need rape as one of them. Guys, they can get their act together, for God's sake. They don't need to derive pleasure from the pain and the struggles of an unwilling partner. Rape really has to stop. And I hope that we can do what we can to stem the tide and stop rape. Thank you very much for watching me. I hope you will continue to give your comments and subscribe to Tunde Talks as ever. And I continue to be here to talk more about issues of topical importance in the world that we live in. Thanks once again, and I'll see you again soon.